podcast about wonderful women, entrepreneurs that are doing great things for their community and being very successful in what they're doing. And today I have a great pleasure to introduce you to a new friend. I was introduced to her by Jessica Cristobal, and now we're becoming friends and talking here. Her name is Jessica Lynn Silva. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Jessica, I'm telling you, ladies, and everybody that's listening, she has done so many things. We're going to start straight from the beginning.
Okay, let's do it.
I know you were a single mom.
I was 4 years.
And I love your story.
Thank you.
It's an amazing story, how you took initiative being a single mom and you wanted to break the stigma of a single mom.
Yes.
And you went to school and you took a test.
Yes.
And you aced it. She's a very smart lady. And when she passed her test, they asked you wanted to do any type of career. And the least one you were thinking.
All I knew is I didn't want to be a statistic. So I knew that I needed a degree, follow the path. This was back in the 90s when the whole trajectory of life was get an education, go to college, get a safe job. So
you did that.
Yes.
And you studied, they put you into as a paralegal, correct?
Paralegal, yes. They're kind of the right hand to attorneys,
wow.
Which I count on my paralegals very much today.
I know when you started your business, it was you and two paralegals, correct?
Yeah. Well, I actually started solo when I started very much on my own. And then the Lord has always been really good. So my law firm, I started over 6 years ago. My own law firm.
From a paralegal.
Yes.
To your own law firm.
Yes, with a few little things in between. So paralegal, and then I also worked for a judge for 4 years. I delved in a lot of different arenas of law. So I did civil, criminal, family, PI, and then estate planning, probate. So it was really fun. You got to see all the nuances, the pros and the cons of lifestyle and law.
But the amazing thing is that for you to become a lawyer, you were a full-time mom.
Yes.
And your husband was in the Air Force, correct?
Yeah, 26 years before he retired.
And while he was away, you took care of those 3 beautiful children.
I did.
And became a lawyer.
Even in Minot, North Dakota. So
God,
for us Floridians,
that's very cold.
-50 is a whole new world.
Waking up in the morning, that's a tough one.
It was, yes.
With 3 kids.
There are several months that even the Minots will go live in another state because it'll get pretty brutal January through March.
Wow.
And
how, when you decided to become a lawyer, what led you to become a lawyer?
Well, I kind of always knew. So that's the path. When I was young and everything, I never knew exactly what I wanted to do with my life. But at 12, I had this feeling, this intuition of just you're going to be meant for more and you're going to be an impact on others. Had no idea what that meant, but I just felt it clear as day since 12. And then life happens. And at 18, I found myself as a single mom, kind of ostracized by people because that was the ultimate no-no, and knew I don't want to be a statistic. So what do I need to do with my life? So I took a test. I will forever be grateful to that counselor because I don't even remember her name, but I just know she came out and said, "You're incredibly smart. You've aced this. Have you ever thought about going higher and thinking more?" And then that's where she introduced me into the world of paralegal and law.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, I love it. That shows the impact.
She saw the vision. She saw the vision.
And that is why it's so important to me to have conversations, to be out there in the world, to make friends, to collaborate, to turn around and help someone else that's behind you. Yes.
You had that pat in the back of.
Yes.
And it encouraged you.
Oh, even my later first paralegal position with Brock and Scott, I worked for them when they only had 2 offices, Raleigh and Winston-Salem. I met the owners. Now they cover a lot of the whole eastern states.
Wow.
And that job opportunity came from, I was a temp at a place, and one of our receptionists, her name was Star, her daughter worked for Brock and Scott, and she knew I was in college. She knew it, and she became my friend. And she's like, "Oh, you want to get in law?" She's like, "My daughter works for them. Let me see what I can do to get you in the door." And she got me an interview, and then I landed it. They hired me to answer phones, and then quickly, I made them so much money and connections. I had my own private office and just
my God, congratulations.
So nothing, but thank you. Nothing was with a plan. It was literally like, okay, this is the opportunity in front of me. Let me do the best I can, overachieve, and then the actions just spoke for themselves.
Did you believe in yourself? Was there that intuition of, I could do this?
No. I actually always suffered more from lack of self-confidence because I grew up poor. And when you grow up poor, you kind of have those stigmas and things. I grew up not the prettiest, like, oh
Please.
no. If you
Um,
even my
Hello?
I'll tell you, no one would believe me, but I even showed when we were at my parents' house once, I showed my best friend and my husband my pictures, and they're like, "Oh, Jess, yeah, you did glow up and grow up nicely." So I'm not exaggerating. There are some
You're
scary pics
beautiful.
back there, but no. So I grew up, traditional big glasses, frizzy hair, crooked teeth, pretty much your traditional nerd. So I had to work through. So I always had a gut intuition, but I did not have strong confidence. I'm an introvert, and people are always shocked to hear that. And so,
When I heard that, I was very surprised by that.
yes,
But you've done a lot of things to help yourself, because I know
very
you
much.
took even theater classes to
Forced me out my comfort zone.
right. So
Yes.
you have always found a way to help yourself to come out.
Yeah.
So you have known yourself very well, your positive and your negatives, and you've always tried to improve your negatives
Exactly.
by using resources like the theater.
I started learning my triggers of what gets me in a headspace that's going to be destructive instead of proactive. And so that's where you start to learn your circle, your environment, where you should be spending your time, how you should be spending your days. Who do you leave and you feel like, oh my gosh, I can accomplish anything? And who do you leave and you're like, where do I stand with them? I can't tell if they love me or hate me because there was so much passive aggressiveness going on there. So I started to be more in tune with things like that. And then like knowing I was shy and every time I'm in front of a microphone, I literally would be ready to throw up and run. I started learning, okay, let's face our fears. What can I do to get out of that? I'll start speaking. I'll go take some acting classes, like anything
And
I
you
can
did it.
do to put myself in the position I didn't want to be in to grow.
So I want to talk a little bit about your family.
Yes.
So
I love
you
my
met
family.
you met your wonderful husband,
Yes. We met
And-
on the church steps in North Carolina.
and great man. He's in the Air Force, correct?
He served 26 years in the Air Force.
Well,
before
thank
he
you for
retired.
his services.
Thank you.
But it doesn't stop there. I mean, I read that he even adopted your
He
first.
did. So working for attorneys has its perks. And so when I worked for attorneys and then I met my husband and we became engaged, the law firm that I worked for at the time went and handled the adoption for me as a courtesy, which was a wonderful blessing. And so he is all my son has ever known as his dad. And we told him the truth when he was 18, so he knows. But he made his own choice that this is dad, that's all I've known, and I'm okay with it. So
And he followed Dad's footsteps a little bit, right? Because he went into the Navy.
he did go in the Navy. The Air Force lost out because they were really slow on the package. And funny enough, I own rental properties. So funny enough, I actually ended up renting one of my properties short term. One of the head of the Air Force recruiting was going to be PTCSing, moving from that state to the other. And he rented my place and asked why our son did not go Air Force. And I said, because you guys sat on his package for like 4 months. And they're like, I kept getting complaints about that, my staff. And so it's Rockledge, Florida is where they're right next to each other. So we kept waiting. And then after we waited, we just went in next door to the Navy and they got him right in.
There you go. And now you're a grandma. He married another Navy, and
He did.
she's in the Navy as well. And
They actually met in Virginia Beach. He was a gunner's mate, so he did all the weaponry and things like that. And so that's where him and Shelby met, and they've been married. She's still in, and he's now a firefighter, and they own 24
thank
acres
you
in
for
Georgia.
their services as well.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
They appreciate that. Even saying the words thank you means everything to military families. People,
It's everything, because you're protecting not only your own family, but you're protecting my family and all the families around us. So thank you for all your service.
You're very welcome. It really feels good to be acknowledged. So any of your audience out there, just saying thank you goes a long way.
So you've done a lot. I want to also talk about your Miss Hawaii International 2026 as
Yes.
well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But her daughter is Miss
Yes,
Florida International as well.
she is. I'm so proud. It's a mother-daughter
Emmy,
duo.
if you could put the pic, please.
Yep,
There
that
it
is my girl.
Beautiful.
I love her. She's my best friend. She actually also works in my law firm, and she's in college for law herself. So that is my pride and joy right there.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Beautiful picture, beautiful honor. I mean, I know when we spoke, you said, you just wanted to do something together. And you guys came together and look at you,
We have a really good friend, Sandy Glant, who is amazing. She was Mrs. International 2022. So she was Mrs. Florida International, and then she actually won the title as well. And she is awesome at motivating, at seeing just everything that the potential someone has inside of them and really cultivating that.
And one thing that you also mentioned to me is the importance of when someone likes something, putting them in that environment to make sure that they can really enjoy it or do it if it's really for them. And you did that with your daughter. I think you told me
multiple times. Yeah, she thought there was times she wanted to be a criminal defense attorney. So I lined her up. She would literally go to court with me, and the judges and deputies would take her through the process. My judge would let her sit next to him on the bench and observe, which I think is the coolest thing ever. She wanted to be a detective, so I lined her up with a friend whose husband was detective, and she got over that real quick. And then,
that's not for me.
No. And there was a brief moment we thought about plastic surgery.
Thank God.
Yeah, I was really okay with those. And then plastic surgery was on the fence. And so she went and toured a friend's, spent a day and decided no. So law has been in the fence, but now she's really been international model is her goal at the moment. So modeling is.
You're also a model too.
I do. I actually started the modeling and being on camera talent was my de-stress from law. That's actually how that came about. So that was really fun. It was a way when you're in the world, you're on set 12 to 15 hours a day, and a lot of it can be downtime. So you'll show up at 5 a.m., did hair and makeup, and then you just kind of are there until they're ready for you. So I started learning you could combine. You could still get some stuff done on the laptop. You could still study. You could do things, and then you're on set, and then you're back. And they're just, the people there are so creative and so fun. It was a whole different world.
It's always nice being around creative people.
Yes.
It helps your mindset. It helps you open your mindset to a new horizon. It just fills up that emptiness inside of you, or that stress. It releases the stress that you have by creativity, correct?
Everything with law is about deadlines, checking, double checking, trying to one up the other side. Right. And when I would go be on film on set, it was more creative, friendships, collaboration. Right. So I just
and really coming up with ideas.
Yes.
Yes.
And everything's
I truly
pretty.
Understand that.
I enjoyed it. Yeah. So that became my release, where you could release the stress in a healthy way.
So you open your law firm. You have 2 law firms, correct?
2 locations, yes. I handle clients all across the state of Florida, and then I have physical offices in Tampa and Satellite Beach.
I know. And you're here mostly every week in Miami.
I am. I was here last week. I am here this week. I will be here next week and the weeks after. Yes.
You're so busy.
Yes.
But I love the law that you went into.
Yeah.
I think it's very important. She wrote this book as well. Yes. This book is #1 internationally, correct?
It's an international bestseller,
and
yes.
you have won many awards, and one of them is you were 2024, I believe. Am I right? Choice for the law firm?
Yes, Brevard County's best business estate planning attorney, yes. And then I'm Marquis America's Who's Who top attorney. And there is a book they do that keeps Warren Buffett is a little bit with that, and so the Library of Congress will be there this year. So we're in 2026 already.
Oh my God, you're a lot. You're going to be very busy.
It's a blessing. It's one of those I prayed for it. So when it's
Did you pray for it? Did you pray?
I knew I was supposed to have impact, so I prayed for the Lord to open up doors in those. And then my prayer was, Lord, I really would love high-quality friendships and relationships where they're friends, but we also are doing business and impact together. That was my prayer. I had no idea what that would entail.
The reason why I ask you, because I think it's important to teach the community and people how important prayer is.
Oh, very much.
And it doesn't have to be like, I always say, well, some people say, but I don't have a religion. But still, prayer is part of it, putting it out there in the universe.
Yes.
Put positive energy out there.
Writing down your goals.
Which is something I noticed throughout your whole entire life. From the first interview I saw from you to now, it's constantly, you've put everything out there and you have prayed for it and it has come true.
Yeah. And there's still some no's. There's times I remind the
yeah.
Lord, Lord, you said yes, and you answered quickly, and now it's been seasons of silence. What's going on here? So,
Well, I think silence is very beautiful, and I think it's a moment for us to reflect
very much.
and to be grateful.
Or see what the roadblock is that we need to be having removed. So there's, life is a learning
to slow
journey.
down and just, look at the sunset.
Very much. For me, it was learning just you were so busy trying to make up for lost time. When was enough enough? Like, when are you changing the alignment and what exactly are you striving for?
Right.
I think sometimes we forget we either move the goalpost or we don't even remember what the goal was because we just start drowning in hustle. And that was a big eye awakening. Like, for some,
we overwhelm ourselves.
Yes. Sometimes you realize
you want to do so much, but everything has a moment and a time.
Exactly. And sometimes if you really analyze it, you'll realize where you're happiest, you already have right in front of you.
Yes,
So,
and be grateful at that moment.
Exactly.
Acknowledge it.
Yes, very much.
This book is very important. And I want to talk a lot about why you went into this type of law. And I know you're there to protect families and protect children and protect the women.
Very much.
So let's talk about a little bit about probate.
Yeah.
A will.
Okay.
When should we get a will?
Okay.
What does probate mean? So share a little bit with us regarding the importance of it, and when should we start that process?
Okay.
As mothers, especially. I don't think once you become a mother, we don't really think about those things. We're just taking care of just the baby. And we also, at that moment, need to already start thinking about the future of the baby.
Correct. You need to start, and that's kind of, as soon as you're 18 and an adult, you should have your own estate plan. And really, estate plan is very simple. It's you having the choice to say, if I can't speak or if something passes to me, here's who I want to speak on my behalf. Or if I've passed on, here is who I want to inherit all my hard-earned assets. So it's literally you getting to be your voice. And so it's a very powerful and wonderful thing, and it should be treated as such. What happens is people get scared and intimidated, and they think that it's overwhelming, and they delay.
And one thing that a lot of people think, and I saw on your Insta, you may think you don't have things.
Correct.
But you do.
Oh, even a homeless person has things. You all have assets. The value could be different.
Can you give examples of what assets are?
Absolutely. Assets are your checking account, your savings account, your Roth IRA, your life insurance policy, your homes that you own, including even your homestead. How many times I've had people come in and go, I don't know why I need you in probate because I had a will. It already said where things were supposed to go. I like to explain will and probate is like peanut butter and jelly. They go together. So you have a will, but it doesn't get activated and put in motion without the probate process.
Okay.
But the probate process was created for the benefit of creditors, not your loved ones, which is the creditor's last-ditch effort to attach to your assets on their way to the beneficiaries. And that is where the attorney fees get picked, creditors get picked, everything. And then your beneficiaries end up with the leftovers. And that's where you get the word on the street of it's scary, it's long, it's expensive, I ended up with nothing. That's where that comes.
And a probate could last for a really long time.
It can. It can have, because some people will hire me to open probate because there's a medical malpractice lawsuit, there's a car accident injury with death involved or injuries, and they need to open probate to even be able to have the power to go start a court proceeding for the person who was injured or died. Mm-hmm. So it's a very powerful tool that is very necessary in some situations. But for your average American that doesn't those extremes, you want to avoid the probate process if possible because it's expense and it's time and it can cause chaos.
Right.
So if there's an avenue and a legal way to avoid it, why not?
Of course.
And so that is my estate planning side where I set you up for success to avoid needing me later. So, and that comes from having a will, trust, power of attorneys, because yes, the will is probate, but it still has a piece in the puzzle that names the guardians for your children and does different things. And so that's kind of where it's still important to have.
There was an example you gave in one of your interview. It was they did a will, but the people that they wanted to leave the kids with
Yes.
were in another country.
Yeah.
Can you explain that even something like that needs to be put in writing, because
Yes.
the process
To get
also needs to be in writing?
So it's called a preemie guardian for minors. And so it's a really crucial, it's the kind of document you priceless if you do. Right. That is the document that your neighbor or friend can literally just have a copy of, show it to the police and be like, I can take care of the kids. You can release them to me right now, right here. And they know your babies. They know what to love them, how to comfort them, how to protect them.
Right.
Without that document, the police have no idea if you're friend or foe. They don't know if they should release, or are they in the legalities. And so that's where it goes into a different system, which is more cold and sterile and scary for your children.
Exactly.
And your children are already going through a shock because they don't have you.
Exactly.
The last thing you need to do is compound that.
Right.
So that's easily fixed by naming guardians in your wills and trust and having a preemie guardian for minors. And that just says, ideally, I want my family in Switzerland to have my babies, but until they can get here, my neighbor can have immediate custody and then transfer it to this person for a meantime, and then they'll ideally end up. So it just provides, it's your voice of saying, you're going to go with this person and then this person, and they know your wishes, so they would know how to take care.
And the reason why I bring it up is it's something you don't even think about.
No, they don't. A lot of people,
That's why you need someone like you to even put that in place just in case.
Well, that's why I actually do things like be on your podcast today, and I'll do speaking, and I'm going to get better. I'm going to be starting monthly lunch and learns and coffee and breakfast to just start. It's free. The community can come. I want you to learn. I'm not after your dollars, and I literally want to set you up for success in a very cost-effective way. You have full power. And so that's where people are scared to talk to some attorneys, because attorneys, like a lot of things, they had a rep of being expensive, snotty, talking down. Like if you asked the wrong question, you all of a sudden felt stupid. I want to clear all those roadblocks. So I want them to be known as approachable and cost effective and have great information.
And you are.
And you learn. And so from there, you will realize it's like death, taxes, things, they just come. They're natural. But the impact of them can be way more minimized by taking the correct action.
Which what you're doing is avoiding the stress.
Exactly.
For those family members.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, so many family members, if you don't have a will, they go into arguments, and it's so much.
It's like Jerry Springer for dead people. Yes. And I live it every day.
And a lot of families are broken because of that.
They are broken. They don't talk. I have situations where one person got named on an account, but the intent of the person was to actually leave it to all their children. But in the old school, you literally thought, oh, I'll leave it all to my oldest and she'll know to divide it among her siblings. Mm-hmm. Well, one, legally, she doesn't have to. She could escape to Mexico, Canada, whatever, and she legally is okay. The minute you named her, it was hers. The second thing, even if she's ethical and wants to follow your wishes, you kind of put her in a pickle, because now it's a gifting. So there's a gifting issue and a tax issue and an amounts. So trying to do something you thought would work out usually does not. Wow. And we could have very easily achieved what your intent was, but in a nice structured way with legal enforceable documents. And that's my goal. Help me help you. Help the judge rule in your favor by having everything that they would need to do so.
And stress-free.
Yes. We've made it very clear who you love and don't love in your life, who's allowed to speak for you and who is absolutely not. And then it's become, we're in a very age of blended families. And so that comes with its own concerns and chaoses, because you might have children from previous marriages and you want some of your assets to make sure they go to those individuals. And then in other situations, you want everything going to new spouse. And then there's a trust factor that they're actually going to remember your children, whichever outlives the other. So there's just a lot of nuances. And no situation is ever exactly the same. And that's why the conversation in our firm, when you call, we schedule you for your consult, and then my staff immediately sends you a helpful estate planning basics PDF that kind of explains the purpose of each document. And then our fee sheet, because I'm very big in transparency and what it includes, and then also our intake form. And from that intake form, it kind of gets your juices flowing, gets you realizing what we're going to talk about. And then so many times people are shocked when they realize I never even thought of this. Like, and when I'll
No,
say,
I
if
understand
something
that
happened,
perfectly.
yes. And
Because when I did my will, I remember, oh my God, now my oldest is 21. I need to redo my will. You know, you need to update it.
Yes.
Because life does change. And those are little things that you don't think of. Because of, your going everyday life and, you move forward. And I was proud of myself. I had a will, but
That's good.
At the end of the day, I realized I need to update my will.
Yes. You always want to update it. We always say look at it every 3 to 5 years.
There you
Just
go.
make sure the guardians you name for your kids is still the correct. Make sure you're still married to the same person you had in those old
Guardians
ones.
maybe not even be alive because you did it
Correct.
such ahead of time.
Well, we see a trend very much now that family is not always the first choice for raising kids because they're either older, bad health, or don't get along or something. So they actually want friends to help raise their children. And that's the last person the judge is going to be looking at unless you've left a document like that. And they want that because they already travel together. They're at each other's homes. They know them. They know their religious preferences, their standards, their vacation times. They have the energy to make sure their kids still show up at all the football dance.
It's true.
And sometimes aging parents wouldn't be able to do all that. And they want their children to still be in an active lifestyle. So there's just, it is actually way more simple than people think. They just are scared to think about it. They think if they think about it, it'll set it in motion. And that's not. It's going to be farthest from the truth. And so many times after clients leave me, they're like, oh my God, I wish I didn't wait 5 years to come see you. I have one particular client I always talk about because she's like, I'm going to dinner with friends now. Do you think it's weird to go tell them I had the best 2 hours with my attorney? And I was like, no, I think that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Well, how can people reach you? I know you have Instagram, but in your email, but how can people reach you if they're interested in doing their will, learning more, have questions?
Okay. One-stop shop is officialjessicalynn.com.
Okay.
So if you go to officialjessicalynn.com, you will see all this where I can be a speaker, coaching, my book, my law firm. There's a link that goes directly to my law firm from there. And then there's all my contact information. So that's your one stop. And then for Instagram, it's just jess.lynn.silva.
Well, thank you for being here.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I like to end up with a question.
Okay.
So, there's so many women out there like becoming a lawyer, and being a woman is not easy.
No.
It's not. And we are very self-conscious of ourselves. And what advice do you give women that want to become lawyers? And the way lawyers are now, the hard communities, the economy. What advice would you give them today that if they want to go to school, what advice would you give them today so that they can have a successful career and not hear so much of the ruckus, if you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Well, one, a lot of the court system is open to the public. If you're dealing with minors and murder and things like that, sometimes they'll close it off, but you can always go observe. So that way you can get a feel for what kind of niche you actually like. Is it the felonies? Is it the criminal? Is it the civil litigation? You like watching the people go against each other, evictions. Then I also always recommend, if you're able to, go volunteer at a law firm.
Okay.
And then you can kind of get a feeling of the inner mix of it. Some of them will even give you paid internships. Some just appreciate having someone. And that is priceless. I personally did that. The other thing is I have 4 college degrees, and literally every one of them was debt-free. Because I'm a big proponent in education, but I am not a proponent of going into debt for education. So even my children, I've drilled that into them. So even my law school was paid for because I intentionally, we have something in Florida people don't realize called the tuition waiver. So if you work for a state agency, so like either a certain college or a judge or somewhere, they'll pay 6 credit hours. And then it has to be, so I was accepted to all the law schools I applied to, but I chose the one intentionally because it can't be a private law school. So, but if you were there, they'll waive 6 credit hours. And then I wanted to graduate early, so I just paid the rest out of pocket from my job because I was working all day. But that is how, when I graduated, I had classmates $250,000 plus in debt and terrified. I had no debt.
Wow.
So that's a tip. It is possible. There are ways to do it. There's also a lot of grants and things out there. Military spouses, sometimes that was one of my other degrees, was being a military spouse, or just working. If you're able to go to college and work full time like I did, it's hard. It's exhausting, but to me, 4 years is going to pass no matter what.
It goes so fast.
Yes, it goes so fast. And at the end of 4 years, you'll be in a way better position than just sitting there just still thinking about it. So even if it's baby steps, just take action every single day. But try. But law is a very awesome niche. And a lot of people in law go on to be our future Congress and leaders and eventually even maybe the president. So that's an awesome role to realize the impact you have on a bigger level. But if not, even if you stay on the smaller level, there's a lot of opportunity. You can do transactional, you can do litigation, you can do family law and do adoptions and divorces and things like that. You can do immigration law, you can do criminal law. So when you say you want to do law, you really want to go explore all the arenas of it and see which
one's meant for you.
I knew I loved transactional and I wanted something that I pull a paycheck, but I also have impact on my community. So
and you're doing that.
Yes. So estate planning and probate was perfect because I'm helping people navigate a process when they're already grieving and they don't know what to do and they're overwhelmed. I can be that soft spot and the things. And I tell people all the time, even when I was with Judge
comfort.
And today, I have tissues and chocolates in every office because those tiny little moments when you're just feeling really empty, one act of kindness can really be life-changing. So I love my role because I'm either setting you up for success or I'm helping you navigate a hard process that you're going through at that time. So I feel like, yes, I'm making a living, but I'm also making an impact at the same time.
And you are.
Thanks.
And thank you so much for being here with me today.
Yes,
I have really enjoyed this interview. I've learned so much. And I know you're going to do great things. And I know your firms are going to grow because you are an amazing person and you're very warm, approachable, very, it's very warm talking to you. Yay. You give peace while you're talking about difficult conversation, but you're giving us comfort at the same time, which is very important. And I thank you very much for being here.
You are so welcome.
And, I know you're a grandma, so I enjoy that grandbaby too.
3 granddaughters, all under 3.
Oh my God. Congratulations. A wonderful life.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you guys for being here with me today. I wish you a wonderful, blessed day. And like I always say, keep hope alive. And she's a prime example of dreams do come true. So always, always believe and keep dreaming that big dream.